Do your tattoo lines look like this? Or like this? Maybe even like this. The bad news is that those lines are not great. The good news is that you are in the right place. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the secrets that I use to tattoo clean, solid, consistent, saturated lines. Be sure to stick around until the end of the video to find out how I tattoo clean lines each and every time. Hello, my name is Daniel Yuck. Thank you for watching my video today. I appreciate your time and support. In today's video, we are going to be diving into the depths of hand speed and voltage. Should you have any questions at all at any point throughout this video, I'm going to encourage you to drop a comment down below. I will do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring that bell for me, as I'm going to be bringing more videos like this for you all. With that being said, let's jump right on into this. Let's start from the top. What is hand speed and voltage? The way that I look at hand speed and voltage is like this. Hand speed greatly determines how much ink we deposit into the site we are tattooing, while voltage determines the amount of rounds the needle is making per minute on whatever machine we are using. What this means is, for example, if we are running at a lower voltage, we're going to want to move our hand at a slower speed to compensate for the less rounds the needle is making per minute. If we're going to be running at a higher voltage, it's going to be the opposite of that. We're going to want to move at a quicker pace to compensate for the more rounds the needle is making per minute. That right there is how I look at hand speed and voltage. Let's get on over to the next part of this video. What's the point of hand speed and voltage? The point of hand speed and voltage is to combine the two elements of hand speed and voltage to be able to work in unison together, to be able to allow the needle to cycle through enough to deposit ink into the skin in a manner that's solid, clean, consistent, and saturated. Tattoo lines should always appear clean, solid, consistent, and saturated throughout the entire design, unless the design called for something else. Line weights can vary throughout designs, however, each line should always remain clean, solid, consistent, and saturated throughout the design. So without aligning our hand speed and voltage, we're not going to be able to complete clean, solid lines, or apply any sort of tattoo correctly without aligning our hand speed and voltage correctly to whatever application we need. That right there is the point of hand speed and voltage. Without it, good tattooing is non-existent. Let's move on to the next part of this video. What's a good voltage to start with for lining? Voltage is greatly determined by the machine and setup we are using. For example, coils tend to have a harder hit, so we're going to want to run at a lower voltage to compensate for that harder hit. While pin style tattoo machines, for example, tend to have a softer hit, so we're going to want to run at a higher voltage to compensate for that softer hit. A good voltage range to begin with when it comes to pin style tattoo machines is around 6 to 8 volts. Mess around with that voltage range and find what feels comfortable to you for whatever setup you're using on your end. With coil machines, it's very hard to say what a good voltage range is. However, a good rule of thumb is to always start lower and then work your way on up to something you're more comfortable with. Let's move on to the next part of our video. How do I match my hand speed to my voltage? Matching our hand speed to our voltage requires repetition, because we need to learn what it takes to make a bad line, just like we need to learn what it takes to make a good line. Not only that, we need to learn about what it takes to line with different size needles. There's really no way around it but through it. We have to keep in mind, if we don't match our hand speed to our voltage, our lines are going to be inconsistent. The lines may have a raky, sort of lighter appearance to them, and they often do heal unevenly. These are obvious and common signs of moving too fast. We can, in fact, be at the correct needle depth. However, if our hand speed and voltage is off, our lines will still be inconsistent. Moving too slow when tattooing lines can also lead to a bunch of adversities as well, such as blowouts, scarring, textured healing, and more pain for the client. Not only that, but moving too slow can also cause unwanted trauma to the skin, which makes our client more prone to infection and has longer healing times. A couple of great places that we can begin working on our hand speed and voltage are using the Tattoo Journal Workbook series, which are available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble's. Links will be for you in the description below, or we can use Fake Skin. The idea behind these resources are to use them in a way that allows us to see the results of making mistakes. So if we were to use Fake Skin or the Tattoo Journal Workbook series, we can create lines moving too fast to see the results. The same thing, we can create lines moving too slow so we can see the results. Going through the motions and experiencing the results is by far the best and quickest way into learning hand speed and voltage. Going through the motions and experiencing the results is by far the best and quickest way into learning hand speed and voltage. Here is a little floral design that I'm going to be using for this demonstration. I will link you down below so you can download and follow along should you choose to do so. Let's switch on over to a close-up angle so that way I can demonstrate different hand speed and voltage results. So here we are at a close-up view, and I want to do some live demonstrations here of lining too quickly, and I want to show you some demonstrations of lining too slowly so that way you can see some results here in this video before you go. I'm going to be using a Mast Pro standard 7-round liner to demonstrate here with the Easy Pro P3 tattoo machine. Links will be for you in the description below. So when we line too fast, right now I am running at 6.5 volts. Lining too fast would look exactly like this. For 6.5 volts. Now I know that may look good at first or even from a distance. However, and this is a big however, when we wipe away and or zoom in, we can see all of the imperfections. For me personally, a line is supposed to be clean, consistent, solid, saturated throughout the entire point from A to B. It shouldn't have skips and inconsistencies like this. I want to do the same thing. I want to demonstrate one more time what it looks like when we move too quick. I'm going to be running at 5 volts now. And keep in mind, I am using a pen style tattoo machine. And I'm going to move too quick once again just to get the points across here. And I'm going to do it over here on this side. So I'm running at a much lower voltage range. Although I'm still at the correct needle depth, my results are going to be sporadic, sparse, and inconsistent. I am running at 5 volts and I'm moving way too fast. The reason why I'm moving way too fast is because I'm not giving the needle enough time to deposit ink in the correct manner. You can see here, at a distance, again, it may look good. However, when we get up close, it looks inconsistent, it looks lighter, it looks raky, and it looks spotty. The points aren't really getting across with a round liner, so I'm going to take this up to a 14 round shader. I'm still running at 5 volts, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to line this tattoo, moving too quickly for the needle to do what it needs to do here. And this is all real time. I'm not speeding this up, fast forwarding. I am just simply moving too quickly to demonstrate my points. So again, at a distance, this may read well, but this shouldn't be the quality or the standard that we shoot for. This is in fact very inconsistent. This is not neat. This isn't the way that a line can look. When you take a close-up look, even at this angle, you can see all of the inconsistencies. You can see the rake marks, and you can see how some areas are darker than others. This is a direct result of our hand speed being too fast for our voltage. I'm going to use this stem area to demonstrate what it's like when we move too slow. So I'm going to take my voltage up to around 6 volts, 6.5 right here. This is what I would normally line at. So if I line too slow, these are some of the results. So you can clearly see that this is way too slow. And I think that even a beginner would know that this is definitely wrong, or at the very least, something is wrong here. That's way too slow, and this is going to cause significant damage to the skin. And when it heals, more than likely it's going to heal texturized and or raised. You can see on the back right here, we definitely blew that out right there. So allow me to demonstrate moving too slow again to kind of help sear it in our brains here. So this is what moving too slow consists of. It doesn't matter what voltage we are using, moving too slow, moving too quick will look very, very similar to what you're seeing here in the video. If this was human skin, this is definitely going to bleed and blur together over time. And this is definitely going to heal with textures, raising, all of that. So right here are direct results of inconsistent hand speed and voltage. Right here we're moving way too slow. You can see the fake skin is chopped up. Right here we're moving way too fast. We didn't give the needle enough time to do its job. At first glance, it does look nice, clean, solid, and saturated. However, through the back right here, we can see that we almost broke through this fake skin right here. This is a pretty thick fake skin. So we went way too deep and our hand speed was too slow when we were applying these lines right here. And that's the only reason why they look clean. However, you can see if I do this to the fake skin, it's completely chewed up. At first impressions, the lines look nice, clean, and solid. However, if we were to turn this around, you can see that we almost broke through this thick fake skin right here. So this would be considered a blowout for sure. And if I were to flip it over, you can see that the skin itself has textures and is chewed up as well. So this is going to be the same thing for human skin. Here's a demonstration of proper hand speed and voltage, and I'm going to line out here. So proper hand speed and voltage will look like this. I'm going to be running at 6 volts right here. What I'm going to do is give the needle enough time to work. And then pull from A to B. And then I'm going to repeat that process going this way. I want to make sure that I'm giving the needle enough time to catch and do its thing before I move on. And then I'm going to repeat that process until I've completed the design. And essentially that's what you would do with each and every tattoo that you're lining, or each and every tattoo line that you pull. So if I were to flip this over, you can't see the line that I just created. You can only see the blowed out lines. That's a good thing. That means we're putting the ink into the correct layer. That means our hand speed and voltage is aligned, and that means this line right here was successfully inputted correctly. The reason why I would consider this line successful, aside the appearance, is the fact that the entire line weight is nice and even throughout the entire application. Not only that, the lines are nice, clean, solid, and consistent and saturated, and we didn't blow out the fake skin. Let's repeat that process over here. And I'm gonna demonstrate correct hand speed and voltage. So the idea is to allow the needle enough time to do its thing before we move on. If we're moving too quick, we're going to get patchy lines, as you saw earlier. And if we're moving too slow, then we're going to chew up the skin, as you saw a bit ago. And I did that one in one full pull. You can see we have nice, clean consistency all the way around. Right here I did experience a little bit of inadequate ink flow. However, other than that, the hand speed and voltage was correct. Let's do one more while I have you here. All of this is real time, and again, this is correct hand speed and voltage. So from this view, you can see everything. The top part of the floral design was done correctly, the middle stem was done too slow, and the bottom leaves were applied too quickly. So here's a top view of this floral design that we were just working on. You can see the bottom leaf area was done with a too quick of an application, the middle stem was done with too slow of an application, and the top part was done with the correct technical application. Here's a close-up look at the Tattoo Journal Volume 1, and this is one of the basic exercises. This is paper thin, so even learning how to do hand speed and voltage on here is adequate enough to translate over to fake skin and human skin. And right now I'm running at 6 volts. The idea is still the same as it was on fake skin. I want to allow my needle enough time to cycle through to deposit the pin ink here in a manner that's clean and consistent. Here's an exercise from the Tattoo Journal Volume 2. Now, if I'm not ripping through paper and I'm getting a good idea as to where I'm comfortable with voltage, then I'll take it as a win. Because when we tattoo on fake skin, it's going to be around the same voltage that we're using. It's really just going to be determined by the needle size. I feel like with these Tattoo Journal Workbook series, it's great because we can practice our hand speed and voltage on the go while practicing our technical application, our lining, our dot work, and our shading. There's 3 different volumes available, and they do advance as we go from volume 1 to 3, starting with basic to advanced. But you can see that it does make for great adequate practice when it comes to hand speed and voltage. Here is a rose from volume 3, and you're going to notice that hand speed and voltage doesn't just apply to lining, it applies to almost everything that we're doing with tattooing, even shading, packing. So you can see on this rose right here, for example, I'm going to start applying some whipped pepper shading to this area. And I'm aligning my hand speed and voltage in a manner that I'm able to get a texturized look while still getting shades. So it is important to mess around and find what really best fits you. Also, please note, I am using a pen style tattoo machine, so results are going to vary with a coil machine. I am getting great results right here. Let me show you what it's like to use inadequate hand speed and voltage when it comes to shading. Running at 5 volts, let me show you what too fast of hand speed looks like when it comes to stipple shading. That's pretty fast right there, and you can see the results kind of all look sporadic and sparse, and it'll be, I know it may appear readable to some, however, you can see it kind of just looks flat. It doesn't have a nice transition to it. All of these look all about the same tone to me, which is something that I don't want when I'm shading. So that's one adverse reaction that can happen when we're applying shading too fast. There you have it. Those are some examples of overworking, underworking, and working the skin just right. I hope that you found some useful information here in this video that you could immediately apply on your end. Should you have any questions at all, I encourage you to drop a comment down below, and I'm going to do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. I'm going to leave a pinned comment down below linking you to the Tattoo Journal Workbook series along with some other tattoo books that I've created. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring that bell for me, as I'm going to be bringing more videos like this for you all. At the end of the video, I'm going to link a couple of more videos that you may want to check out on your end that could help you in a better direction. I appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in. You have a great day.